On your song Booty Juice, what's the political significance?
The butt is like society, which we want to see as being openness and expansion, you understand? But the white man wants to clog it up, keep it closed, and we're trying to get a foot up.
What's up, Vault Dwellers? Dan here, and I've got a quick question for you. I want you to name a parody film. Go ahead. I'll wait. Maybe you said Scary Movie? Maybe Spinal Tap? Maybe you even said like Blazing Saddles if you're feeling fancy today. And those, I mean, they're correct answers, but they're also the only answers that most people have. Because somewhere between the classics and the garbage fires, there is an entire graveyard of parody films that nobody talks about anymore. Films that got buried, forgotten, or never found their audience. That's what today's all about. Not the Mount Rushmores, but the films that fell through the cracks. We're looking at forgotten, overlooked, and criminally underseen parody films. All right, let's get into it.
You can still hear old Junkbucket out there, crying for his mama and his lost cock and balls. Well, he's out there. Junkbucket's out there, waiting.
Stop! Stop it! Just stop it!
Getting us started is Junkbucket from 2008, and it stars a killer whose nose has been replaced with male anatomy, and he wears his victims' faces stretched over a bucket on his head. And his name, it's Junkbucket.
My junk.
He collects junk from people. Yeah, you know, this film absolutely exists. Someone had the director sign their DVD copy to a friend named Gabe with the inscription, "I'm coming for your junk, Gabe."
My junk. My junk.
Shit! Holy shit, it's fucking Junkbucket! He's come for our junks!
Yeah, so...
Is this like Scary Movie? No. I mean, the budget is somewhere south of like a decent used car. Yet, I mean, there is a sex scene involving an accordion and a mime, so it does have its moments.
Take me, you hot-ass accordion mime!
But the people behind this clearly worshipped like every Friday the 13th knockoff ever made, and they're roasting the whole genre from a place of deep, genuine love. The dialogue is sharper than it has any right to be.
Well, I guess some dickless retard is trying to murder us, and I mean that literally.
And the film circulated almost entirely through the director, personally mailing DVD copies to people who emailed him nicely. I mean, that's not a distribution strategy. That's a passion project with a bucket on its head. God bless this film.
Thanks for helping us out, man. Is there any way we can repay you? Oh, I got weed.
I'm an exhibitionist, Father. I like to expose myself to strangers, especially authority figures. I hold the neighborhood record for most repairmen satisfied in a single afternoon. I have an enormous collection of vibrators, Father.
National Lampoon's Class Reunion, back from 1982, is the most interesting failed comedy I've probably seen, because the failure has its own weird charm.
Mrs. Demazuski! Walter's here!
This is John Hughes' first solo screenplay credit. Yeah, John Hughes, right? And the killer in this film is loose at a 10-year reunion at Lizzie Borden High School, which obviously is the most perfectly named institution in a horror parody in the history. Yet, most of the jokes still don't land. The film has some interesting plot points, like there's this Transylvania exchange student who is just naturally and vampirically inclined, yet the film, it just kind of leaves him there.
I want you.
I can't. It's that time of month.
There's a Satan-possessed student who breathes fire, which everybody seems okay with.
Biology lab, straight ahead.
Thank you, Dolores.
Yeah.
Oh, and Chuck Berry shows up, plays some songs, and then just disappears. It's kind of like a clue board game where all the suspects are interesting and none of the mystery pays off. Ebert said funny characters, they aren't the same as funny jokes. And for once, I think he was right.
Walter, can we see her naked before you kill her?
Hughes absorbed the lesson and came back like 2 years later with 16 Candles. Class Reunion is where the sausage got made. Just delightfully wrong.
Do something, you two. Don't you realize there is a killer on the loose? Give me this. Thank you.
Okay, so this one needs a little quick context here. In 1990, the lovely Linnea Quigley, she released Linnea Quigley's Horror Workout, which is a VHF spoof of the Jane Fonda's craze featuring zombie aerobics, horror movie clips, and an opening shower scene that was technically optional, but clearly the main event. I mean, this thing was perfect. Now, Lisa Cook's Deadly Workout from '94, it is not that. What we get is workout segments in which Lisa works off the Jell-O.
These I have to do one arm at a time. It's just too hard for me right now to do both arms.
A career retrospective that takes a very generous view of the career being retrospected, and a scene where Lisa eats something that can only be described as a hand sandwich, which she assures us fits her diet.
Yummy.
Is this movie funny? You know, sometimes, but I think it's by accident. But there's something fascinatingly deranged about a film that is simultaneously a parody of a celebrity workout video.
Feels so good.
And also a sincere attempt at being one. The cognitive dissonance is the film.
I had the most fun making Evil Knights. Even though my scene was kind of small, at least I got to do a sex scene before I got killed.
Someone vandalized our park last night, smashed some of our buildings and injured a few of our guards. Gene, they think it was you.
It was him.
Or his twin.
Gene's brother was an only child.
Easy, Catman. They are serious.
And they've got guns.
All right, the pitch was Star Wars meets A Hard Day's Night. What Embassy got, which, by the way, is produced partly by people who made Scooby-Doo, was something considerably different.
They're not real, they're robots.
The members of KISS have magical talismans that give them superpowers. Paul Stanley, he's got laser eyes. Gene Simmons, he breathes fire, which I think is a total miss because I would have given him like a 10-foot-long tongue. But anyways.
Your fire signs worry too much.
Ace Frehley, he can teleport. Well, when he's not crashing his moped around Six Flags between takes, which was apparently constant.
Ace!
Peter Criss, he didn't show up for his own voiceover session, so the Catman is dubbed throughout by the voice of Duke from G.I. Joe.
We don't work with a second act, Devereaux. Besides, Armageddon is a lame group.
Ace's stunt double is, at different points in the same film, a black man in whiteface and an Asian man in whiteface. And nobody fixed this. Gene and Paul, they absolutely hated the finished product so much that KISS employees, they were banned from mentioning it for years.
This is unreal.
It's all unreal.
Devereaux!
Although Ace, he thought it was hilarious. And for years, the band just actively tried to bury this thing. It now just exists primarily in bootleg form, which I have a copy of. This is like second only to the Star Wars holiday special in the pantheon of things famous people wish that had never been made. And it's absolutely essential.
He's the one, all right. Almost tore my arm off.
Gene's clean.
A pussycat. Almost. Hi, Curly.
A man should be the Drake for his own damn sake. And men should be the misters and the masters of their sisters. A man should be the reason for a heart to break.
Shock Treatment is the Rocky Horror sequel I don't think anybody really wanted. And I'm going to spend about 60 seconds almost defending it.
The angels got the voices, but the devil got the rock and roll.
All right, let's start with the really bad. There's no Tim Curry and no Sarandon. There's not even a castle. Instead, we have Brad and Janet, who are now married, living in a town that has been entirely absorbed into a television studio.
Let's face it, Janet. Brad's an emotional cripple.
The whole film takes place on TV sets, and this thing bombed so badly it never even got a general release. It was just a midnight movie on Halloween back in 1981.
Hey, how about that? Janet was a knockout.
Thank you.
Yeah, she was terrific. Sexy!
What?
So here's my take though, right? Shock Treatment predicted reality television by like 20 years. The entire premise, a media company called DTV that turned the small town life into programming. I mean, this is essentially The Truman Show.
Seducer! And who are you, sir? Your twin brother and your accuser.
Brad.
Arrest that man! He's committed to our care!
Brad gets institutionalized on a show called Dentonvale, and Janet, she becomes this manufactured celebrity overnight.
This is Janet. She's a phenomenon.
The villain is a fast food magnate named Farley Flavors, and Lullaby is one of O'Brien's most beautiful songs, so there's some high points, but it's not Rocky Horror. I mean, it doesn't have Tim Curry.
You're practically naked.
Well, I can't wear anything under it, Daddy. It would spoil the line.
But it's stranger and smarter than its reputation gives it credit. And it deserves better than 40 years of being called a disappointment. I think you should check it out.
You see, the way we got rid of that dirty little dish is the way we're going to put the rest of our house in order. Including the upstairs.
Smoother than Jif and fresher than planners. My peanut sex meet all standards. They're deaf enough to knock you to your knees. And even planners ain't got no nuts like these. My peanuts!
This might be the funniest film you've probably never seen. Fear of a Black Hat is a mockumentary that follows NWH.
This group is an affront to every decent American.
And they're a hardcore rap group with an entire intellectual philosophy about why rappers wear hats. The philosophy, it just keeps changing throughout the film. In one interview, it's about slavery and sun protection.
Back in the days when there were slaves and stuff, they would work in the hot sun all day.
In another, it's an African tribal heritage. By the end, they have just completely contradicted themselves 4 or 5 times, and nobody really seems to notice. I think my favorite one is when they say, back in slave times, no hats meant too tired to revolt. Now, we have hats.
They was too tired to rebel against their masters, right? So what we saying with niggas with hats is, yo, we got some hats now, motherfuckers.
These guys are like 95% swagger and about 5% brain cells. And they try to play every moment just completely straight.
A misogynist is a person that hates women.
We love women. It's our civic duty to bang the booty.
This premiered at Sundance in 1993, and it sold out a midnight slot at Cannes. And then CB4 came out 3 months earlier and just ate it at the box office.
Motherfucker.
Fear of the Black Hat made almost nothing on release, which, honestly, that's the music industry parody continuing past the credits.
See? The cops would have shot homeboy. But I know better. He was just chilling.
The director, he went on to write for Chappelle's Show, but the songs in this thing, they're actually incredible. This thing is just criminally underseen. It's essentially the hip-hop Spinal Tap, and I rate this as required viewing.
You good red-boned, Marani-colored genie in a bottle looking motherfucker. You are the same complexion as Malcolm X.
Ça, c'est de moi. C'est pas le gros noiré, ça. Il a grossi, un Philippe Noiret, depuis...
Man Bites Dog is a Belgian mockumentary about a film crew who follows this charismatic, poetry-reciting serial killer named Ben. As he murders people, does monologues about architecture, and then has dinner with his family. This was NC-17, and it got banned in multiple countries. It won the International Critics Prize at Cannes, and Quentin Tarantino, he tried to get into the second screening, but he got turned away at the door and punched the security guard. That is the correct response to being denied entry to this film. Ben, he is just magnetic in this thing. I mean, he's funny, he's warm, he's opinionated, and then he'll just kill someone in mid-sentence. And the film crew shifts from observers to accomplices so gradually, you just barely notice it's happening, which it's actually the whole point of this film. It's a satire about media complicity, about our appetite for packaged violence, and about what a camera does to the thing it films. Steve Buscemi, he put this in his Criterion Top 10. And Tarantino, he said it did exactly what he was trying to do in Natural Born Killers. Criterion released it, and it's dark, it's hilarious, and it's a necessity. Oh, and it's very Belgian.
Your name Robinson?
Roxy Robinson?
You work with Fat Sam?
Okay, here's the pitch for Bugsy Malone. It's about a prohibition gangster musical where every single role, the mobsters, the femme fatales, even the hired muscle, it's played by children, all under the age of 16. The guns, they fire whipped cream, and the cars, they run on pedals. Oh, and Jodie Foster, who's just 13 years old and fresh off Taxi Driver, she plays the seductive nightclub singer Tallulah.
You've got lovely brown eyes. There'll be lovely black eyes if Fat Sam catches us. How about smearing my lipstick? Careful, Tallulah.
The director came up with the idea on a long drive to entertain his kids. His son said, make the gangsters children. Parker built tiny little pedal cars that I think cost as much as the real ones. Unfortunately, the studio, it didn't have any faith in his film, and Parker spent like $50,000 of his own money on the sets. But here's what I think the film accidentally discovered. By casting children as gangsters, it reveals what gangsters actually are. Without the violence and the menace, they're essentially just bullies arguing over a schoolyard. The whole mob mythology, it just dissolves in miniature. This thing premiered at Cannes, and Parker, he called it the work of a madman. And I think he wasn't wrong. And I also think I'd probably watch this like every year for the rest of my life.
Come on, hurry up!
Hold it straight. Now be careful. Be careful now.
All right, so here's the thing about the Rutles, All You Need Is Cash. This is a film that invented the music mockumentary form, like 6 years before Spinal Tap.
10,000 girls are here to say hello to these four guys from Liverpool. It was the most famous arrival on these shores since Christopher Columbus.
This is the first feature-length music mockumentary ever made. And Eric Idle and Saturday Night Live's Lorne Michaels, they created a full Beatles parody.
There was a fifth Rutle, Leppo, a friend of Nasty's from art college, who mainly used to stand at the back. He couldn't play the guitar, but he knew how to have a good time. And in Hamburg, that was more important.
You've got Dirk, Nasty, Stig, and Barry, and they're the prefab four from Rutland. It had mapped their entire career like beat for beat. Neil Innes wrote 20 parody songs for this thing that were so convincing that Apple Corps sued him for copyright infringement, and they won.
The Queen, too, is a Rutles fan, and she enjoyed the performance so much that on Wednesday they went back to her place to receive MBEs. Well done, lads. England's proud of you.
And George Harrison, he personally funded the project and then appeared as a TV reporter having his microphones like stolen mid-interview. And he has like this energy of a man who's having the time of his life in this movie.
Who hurt Stig? One of the girls. Who? Big Valerie. We're very upset, but there's not much we can do about it. Why not? Well, she'll thump me.
Oh, and Dan Aykroyd, he appears for like 30 seconds, is just coughing and then leaves. And nobody explains this, but that's all right. When this aired on NBC, it received like the lowest ratings of like any primetime show for like months.
It surprises me. I'm really shocked.
But the BBC, they broadcasted it 5 days later, and it had a massive success. The disparity is the joke the film is making. It's basically a legend that will last a lunchtime. And 45 years later, it's still there.
Chastity fascinated him with her destructo art. They talked all through the night as she outlined her plans to drop artists out of planes.
You know, every film in this list understands its target well enough to make you love it while they were mocking it, because you can't parody what you don't care about. That's the whole trick of this thing. Hey, before you go, why don't you check out these other parody videos? We've got horror parody, cult parody, and each one like showcases at least 3 films that probably shouldn't exist. They're all in the vault. Keep it weird, folks.
Come on, man, let's go. Let's go, motherfucker. All right, come on, let's go, man. I ain't having it, motherfucker.
You niggas gonna fight or fuck?
Let's go.
I'd love to arch these eyebrows, clean up some of the strays here. Oh, I'd love to try a henna rinse on you. Because, I mean, let's face it, you got good bone structure, but you're not a pretty girl.